Welcome back to the shop, every peoples of the internet. Don't worry, if you think there are too many mods, there are almost too many mods. There's a few more to go. The next one on the list is the Poison Spider roll cage. Does this need a roll cage? Only if you're gonna roll, or if you want ways to mount more stuff inside of your cabin, which I do, because that just basically is a mod to give you more mods. And I'll show you those parts, but we're gonna put in the trail cage from Poison Spider. These are the components for the cage, and as you can see, there's not a lot to it. Right here is the bar that goes inside of your dash. These two go alongside either side of your dash and hold that bar in place. These two are for your A-pillars, and this one goes above you in the console. This goes over the driver and passenger, and this goes over the rear two seats. This right here is great because it's gonna allow me to add a bunch of consoles up here above me, and also I can attach different instruments to my bar on the front. Just so you know, this cage comes unpainted. You have to paint it yourself. It just comes in a raw metal, so I had it painted matte black. Hey, I like that thing.
Windshield's gotta come down.
The whole windshield?
Oh yeah.
The whole windshield?
Yeah. So.
Does it mean the light bar has to come off?
Yeah, I'm not to that point yet.
You're not even gonna, just don't worry about it. Just like, let's just pretend. It's good. Let's just, yeah. In case you were concerned, Chris took it and hit it, but there's all the hardware included.
Oh, I know.
I showed him the parts and I was like, you know, it looks like it's just a bunch of metal. No, it has all the parts. This is a bolt-on kit, not a weld-on kit. There's no welding required. Man, don't say we did it in the wrong order. Should have put the cage in before we did this light bar.
Yeah, oh, we definitely did.
Ah, shoot. See, this whole Jeep mod series has been in planning for a long time, and this is almost a year of this going on now. And I did all this stuff in order so we wouldn't have this problem. Apparently I messed up. I thought it was important to do the light so that we could get all the wiring out of the way without ever having to worry about like a cage getting in the way of where that internal pod switch is gonna go, but that just means more work for Chris. You try so hard to hide that angry face.
It's not angry.
I'm not angry at you, just disappointed. That's what you were gonna say. This depresses me. You have to undo all of your work.
Yeah.
You bet you're used to that, huh? No offense. Having to do things.
Pretty much everything.
Yeah,
everything I've
twice.
ever worked on.
Are you making quick disconnects just so it's easier to put back together? All right,
that
cool.
way, if you ever have to have the window replaced or something. Let's set it under the right top. Now all I gotta do is drill down through there, put the bar over the top. I can get that off, that's not a problem. I did have to take those off, so
Those plates, the ones you took off, put back on. Yeah, I was wondering about those.
I kind of was too, but like at the same time I was like, oh, that just stays on there. They didn't take it off. So this guy, I think, attaches the one that goes to the back. I want to say.
So the roll cage is in. We're just trying to figure out how to make it compatible with the existing parts. There's a lot of cutting that needs to be done. The sound bars, plastic needs to be cut. Same thing has to happen back here with the rear light in order to get this plastic to fit, will have to be a similarly cut section right here to make it fit back up there. And then we're trying to figure out how to reuse a lot of the existing foam inserts around the bars and the wraps. So back there, it's gonna be okay. Right here, this is just the foam from the existing bars because the bars up here have been completely replaced. So we're just trying to figure out how to make it compatible before putting it back together. But the roll cage is actually installed. It's just putting the whole Jeep back together that what we're working on.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Walter's taller than all of us.
Yeah, we should actually hire Walter to just be the tall guy.
Hey, will you get this? Will you get that?
Hey,
get that?
I grew up like that.
Yeah.
Hey, could you get that?
For me, get that for me?
Do you play basketball? Can you get that? Delicious. Delicious. So the manual failed to specify exactly how to reinstall any of these existing parts, like this roll cage freaking cover. So we devised that since this blocks the zipper, I just said, well, why don't you just cut holes and zip tie it? And he's all about zip ties. So that's what we're gonna do for at least just this part.
It's just what happens. This is how people fix bumpers when they're hardcore.
How many holes did you punch? I mean,
A lot. I didn't know how many we were doing.
Chris is coming out with the front doors. Truth be told, this has been very time consuming. It's just trying to make everything fit and taking the Jeep apart and putting it back together. Hey everybody, so we were at the shop late putting this together and we ran into a small problem which I will talk about in a second, but first I want to show you what's essentially the finished product. So now I'm inside the cab and I think it looks very handsome in here. So like I said, here's the bar that goes over the dash. Here's your console piece that runs straight back all the way there, back above the rear seats. And the bars are all right here. Nothing is attached yet, and I have cables and stuff laying in the way, but I'm gonna be putting something up here. I'm gonna be attaching this to the rail, but I think it looks really nice in here. So let me step outside and show you some of the things we had to deal with. So there's an insert that belongs right here in between the original frame and with this new piece. It's very small, you can kind of see it in there, but apparently that's important because when we were originally putting this on, we omitted to put it here on the passenger side because it was very difficult to get both sides to fit together. So what happened is we put this in without any spacers at all, and that led to this, the door not closing, because apparently you need that distance to close the door right here. So we did a makeshift kind of our own spacers and separation right here to make this fit. So now this is pressed in even more to make it fit and the door closes like it's supposed to. So we're gonna redo that spacer later to make it a little bit neater. But other than that, it's all in correctly. Afterwards, I went and took the original wraps and all I had to do was make a cut right here where this bar comes in because, you know, there was no bar here before, but just one cut and then one zip tie and it's all back on there. So all the rolls, I should say the fabric rolls, are all back where they were supposed to be. So I'm actually really happy with it. That being said, it was, as I read on the internet, a bear to get in, but I'm happy to have it. And like I said, there's some stuff I'm gonna do with it and I'll appreciate it more then. But I had to wait until we were completely done and I had some time with it to see if I like it. And I do. One quick thing I'll say also is this bar up front does cover the silhouette of my hood, and I would use my hood to gauge where my tire was on the road so I knew, you know, to be left or right. This covers the silhouette of the hood, so it doesn't block the road anymore, it blocks the hood, which meant I had to relearn how to line this up on the road because I had to line it up with this bar now. So it doesn't obstruct my view at all, but it did block the hood, and I had to use this now as my guide. So anyway, I'm happy with it, but if you're gonna do one of these, just know it's a bear, but it can be done. So I hope you appreciated this kind of video slash mild review. I don't typically do reviews on these installation videos, but I had to wait until afterwards. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.